How are you bastards? It's Brummie Dave, yes. I thought I'd come on the channel. I thought you might be missing me. I said to Andy the other day, I think you should have me back on. He says, I don't know what I could get you bloody doing, Dave. I mean, we've done it all, haven't we? And but then he started moaning, Andy. He was bloody the moaner. You probably noticed he's a bloody bit of a moaner, old Andy is. And he said, I don't want to do the funny stuff anymore that people think's funny. Gets all the views in. I want to talk about serious stuff like jazz and stuff like that. And he said he was planning on doing, he was going to do the 10 biggest tossers in heavy rock. But he was just going to call it the 10 biggest tossers in rock. Because even though it's specifically heavy rock, because he's done that one before. I said to him, I'll do that one for you, Andy, don't worry about it. I'll come in and do that one, but I'll have to redo your list. He had a load of bloody people on there I ain't interested in talking about. So I've got my list here, right? This one is like, some of these aren't really tossers, I actually quite like them. But they've got there for other reasons, usually associations or something like that. Some of these are real big tossers, but not like bloody, psychopaths. And then some of them are just there because I think, they are tossers and nobody will bloody admit the fact that they are, you know what I'm saying? Because when you see these top 10s, they always wheel the same bloody ones out, don't they? They'll have Phil Spector on the list, Ginger Baker will be on there, all the usual people, won't they? And they don't have the ones, that there's certain ones they don't ever want to talk about, do they? Right. Shall we get going then? Sorry about that, chaps. I had to stop the camera because I've noticed I'd gobbed on the bloody lens. Andy's never bloody done that, has he? He's more in control of his saliva than us in Birmingham. We have to have a lot of saliva at the ready because a lot of the food we eat is a bit stodgy, you see, up in Birmingham. So you got to be able to, if you get your chops around like a cheese cob or something, you really need to have a bit of saliva there, and I've got excessive saliva. Right, I've got my notes here, and I can't see a bloody thing. Who's this one here? Well, I'll tell you I've got number 10. He ain't really a tosser. I quite like him, really, but I'll tell you why. I got him on the list. I also know him a bit in the old days. It's old Robert Plant, or as we used to call him, Percy. There was a film in the early 70s called Percy, and it was about this bloke, and he got a new, ding dang doodle, you know what I'm saying? He had a new, a new bit of wedding tackle down below, and, he's not like Robert had new wedding tackle or anything, but he's a good bloke, Robert is. He's a good bloke, he's down to earth, and I like him. But the trouble with him is that he's handsome chap. I don't mind handsome chap. But there's other things about it that the ladies liked. And in the early days, when I was courting Beryl, my now wife, she always had a soft spot for old Robert. And she was always flirting round him, but he had other ladies round him. But she always thought she could be in with a chance with old Robert. And he used to get on my nerves. He used to get on my wick. He used to get on my wick because he was always bloody, prancing about and showing off, his big talent, if you know what I'm saying. And anyway, more recently, got friends with Andy, right? Beryl's found out that he once played for 5 minutes or something back in the old days with role playing. He's always bloody going on about it anyway, isn't he? So she starts to nag me now, and she keeps saying, if there's a do, can you get Andy to get us there? I'd like to meet Robert again. I haven't seen him before a while. And I said to Beryl, well, why do you want to see Robert? And you know what she said? She said that she likes hanging out with the big knobs. Or to be more precise, because I just cocked that joke up. She likes to be where the big knobs hang out. Sorry, I buggered that one up. It's one of the few jokes we got in this video. But it was better in a way for not going quite well, didn't it? You got it twice anyway. Add the word big knobs in and hanging out. And so that might make you chuckle. Yeah, he's always showing off about song remains the same when he had them jeans on and then he had a little bloody sign put on there. You couldn't read what it said. It looked like a bit of bird shit, didn't it? Bit of like a bloody pigeon and crapped on his package. Now, of course, if you're a pigeon flying along and you're above Birmingham, say West Brom in the old days when Robert's walking along and you decide to unload, because he's so bloody big, you're probably going to hit it. It's hard to miss it, isn't it? But then it draws the eye, doesn't it? All the ladies have their eyes drawn. But I think, what you bloody doing, Robert? What you playing at? Why are you trying to draw the eyes of all the ladies? What's going on there, mate? You know, I mean, I suppose if you've got it, flaunt it. But yeah, I'm basically, you know, because of the sort of silly place that the Beryl, you know, the eye regard in which she holds Robert Plant, he does get on my nerves, so I'm always saying to her, you know, I'm not that bloody tosser, but he had a tosser really, he's all right, you know. And the thing is, it's cost me a ton of money, right, because we've been watching Song Remains the Same the other day, we watched it, you know, and Beryl was in her bloody element watching it, wasn't she? And I said, you fancy something to eat? So I thought I'd ring up the old Uber Eats and get a Subway in. Now, I like to save a bit of money, just get a 6-incher. But she was adamant. She says, no, I ain't having it. I'll have a 12-incher or nothing. Right, who's next on the list? Right, I can't bloody see anything with these sunglasses on. So, when you get on, you can't... I've had to bring my glasses with me. What the hell's this? Oh, yeah, him. Right. Yeah, you're going to be shocked at this, because you know who's here in our mind, don't you? I bloody love him. My mate in the old days, Ozzy Osbourne, right? But I have actually put him on the list, old Ozzy here. And he's going to shock people, because he's dead, didn't he? He died last year, didn't he? He died and everyone felt sad about it, didn't they? I felt sad about it. I was having a little cry to myself, I was. So I was sat there watching the Ozzy Osbourne tribute last year, right? We were all watching it, and we live streaming. And Andy rings me up and says, Dave, do you want to come over and do some live streaming? Because you said, no, Ozzy, you could tell them all loads of old stories. So I bloody pop over to Andy's, get on the old live stream. So as I'm on there, right, it's like got 250,000 people watching, right? Billions of people are watching it, hundreds of them. Because Dave tells the truth, you see. That's the thing people don't realise. I tell the truth. So I'm telling all the stories like this, enjoying myself. Everyone's listening to what I'm saying. Were any of you there watching it? If you were, put it in the comments, because what suddenly bloody happened? Got taken down. Why did he get taken down? Because Sharon bloody reported me. She said it was a copyright strike. Bloody hell it was. Nah, Sharon Osbourne, tosser. Right, so it's not really Ozzy at this point, it's more Sharon. She's a right tosser now. You could say Ozzy's a tosser, right, you could, because, I mean, look at it, I remember in the old days, they always go, oh, he's a burglar, old Ozzy is, he's a bloody burglar. He only did, and he nicked something, he got taken down, they fined him for it. I mean, that's not a bloody burglar, it's not bank robbery to get fined, is it? They fined him 500 quid, he couldn't bloody afford it. So he goes to his dad, he says, Dad, will you pay it? And he says, nah, I got to teach you a lesson. So they stuck him in prison on Winson Green for 6 months. I mean, bloody hell, if you can't get your hands on 500 quid when you're supposed to be a bloody burglar, you're not a very good burglar, are you? I mean, he's bloody rubbish. He's rubbish. Good. I felt like I got spat down myself again. I'm sorry about it. I'll try and keep it down a bit. Really salivating today. Anyway, you don't need to know about that, do you, old Ozzy, yeah? And of course, he took loads of bloody drugs. He's always off with the women. And, you know, everyone loves him, despite the fact that he did try and kill Sharon, didn't he? He tried to strangle her to death, didn't he? You know why? Because Sharon Osbourne is oh my God, you know, she's like, have you ever seen that bloody TV series? I was watching it last night. What's it called? Animal Kingdom. He's got that bloody Ellen Barkin in. Oh, I remember in Siesta. Remember that film? And he was always going on about that. He said, you got to watch this film because it's got Miles Davis in it. I said, Miles who? He says, Miles Davis. So bloody put it on. I didn't hear any bloody annoying trumpet going all the way through it. But bloody Ellen Barkin did that one. Well, she's got a bit older, but she's still got it. But she's in this film called Animal Kingdom, and she's like the head. She's what's that with Ma Parker? Would you remember that? She's like a bloody matriarch, but she's a criminal matriarch. Bloody hell. Well, Sharon's like that, isn't she? And in the old days when I knew Sharon, because she's the, I was going to say son, you know, but it's bloody true. She's the daughter of Don Arden. And he's an Arden, he's bloody nasty, he was. He used to go around beating people up, chucking them out windows. All right, I'll tell you a story about Don Arden, right? At his house, they had somebody die. I don't know why. Some bloody guest had died, pegged it, so they calls up the Undertaker. But Don Arden, not wanting to miss out on an opportunity, what he did is he goes, right, get that bloke over that owes me money. And as he's driving down the drive, he sees the bloody hearse leaving, driving out like this. He sees the bloody coffin going past. He says, what's that? And he goes, last bloke just to come and see Don. That's what they're like. And she will not bloody have anything. It's like, look at Blizzard of Oz. She didn't like the blokes in the band, so she wouldn't pay them. And the thing is, then she gets on the bloody television, and Ozzy's Ozzy, you know, and he doesn't know bloody what's going on. And just to make money, he's there bloody stepping in dog shit, and these bloody stupid fat kids, and they're all bloody fat, weren't they? You know, Sharon Osbourne used to be fat, and the other one, the daughter that did changes with him, what's her name? She used to be fat, and then Jack, he used to be fat, and now they're not bloody fat, they're too thin. I think put some bloody weight on, you know. I mean, you look at bloody Sharon Osbourne now, she's got bloody same mouth as Steven Tyler. Is he on the list? I can't remember. He might be on the list as well. I can't stick him. He's a bloody tosser. If he ain't on my bloody list, I tell you, I've written it, but I might have forgotten about Steven Tyler. Sharon Osbourne, and she has the gall to see. She goes, that's our Brummie Dave, innit? Look at him there talking about stuff. I'm not in control. Oh, this is what they're like, famous people. They have to be in bloody control. They have to be. They can't stand anybody. I can't stand it. They can't stand somebody. I've been there since the bloody early days. I have. I know what bloody happened. I'm here to tell you about it. They got nothing to be ashamed of. But now, take Dave out and ring him up, ring YouTube up, and take him down. Bloody Sharon Osbourne, right? And I don't care. I don't care if you come and send your heavies on to me because I don't actually exist. That's the thing you got to remember. That's how I can get out of it. Right, shall we move on there, or I'm going to be here all bloody day? Sorry about this, I might get a bit angry on this. I just got to bloody have a look at this next one on the list. What's the next one on the list? Oh, I bloody can't see a thing. Alright, now this is the troublesome one, this is. Number 8, this is number 8, isn't it? Number 8, this is a troublesome one. And I'm undecided, I don't know. Of course, one of the greatest rock bands of all time is Judas Priest. Lovely set of lads, know them all. Rob. I mean, Rob's he's a good bloke, of course. You know, he's a puff, right? Can you say that now? Yeah, I don't know if you could say that. Call him a puff now. That's what we used to call him. Puff to Halford, we used to call him in the old days. Probably can't say that. I do apologise to people who are, you know, like the bloody language Nazis who can't bloody say a word. I love Rob. I've got nothing against the old homosexuals, nothing against them at all. Leave it at them, I say. So I got nothing against Rob, he's not a tosser now. And then you got KK, he's all right. And Glenn, he's all right. Who else you got in the band? What was that bloke on? I never know him. So Ian something, was it? Ian Hill, was it? He's all right. But back in the old days, they got this bloke in from Trapeze called Dave Holland. And I said to Andy, I said, I'm going to put Dave Holland on the list. He said, you can't put him on. And I thought you didn't like picking on people from the Midlands. And so I thought we were talking about the same person. He's talking about the jazz bloody bass player Dave Holland, not him from Wolverhampton, not that Dave Holland, no. Dave Holland in Judas Priest. Anyway, he got done. He was doing dodgy stuff with one of his bloody jump students. She was underage and disabled. I mean, what's going on there? He went to prison for it, then he's bloody dead now, so he can't defend himself, so... But I cannot work out what bloody happened here, you know, because he always said... Because I bumped into Dave down the old Bull Ring, and I said, bloody hell, you got out of prison, haven't you? Yeah, bloody horrible it was. Everyone thinks I was doing these dodgy stuff, and I wasn't being blackmailed. I thought, oh, yeah, you're being blackmailed. But then I look into it, and I just don't know. Now, this story seems to be covered up in no one ever talks about old Dave Holland. Nobody does. It's like that bloke in Saxon. He's gone down as well. You know, the bald one with the moustache. I could have had him on. Who's calling me up now? Can't see. She'll have a look. She'll see what. Sorry about this. Because Andy gets his phone calls, doesn't he? Ah, bloody hell. KK. He said, don't go on about Dave. It's too late now, KK. I've said it now. Bloody done it. Bloody said it. That's the way it is. Right. Right, hang on. I'm going to have to bloody give him a text message back. Hold it there. I'm going to have to put my proper glasses on here. I do apologise for this. I wanted to look cool in me mirrorless, like aviators. What's this one? KK. I'll read the old message. Bloody hell. What's... I have already mentioned him. There we go. Let's see what he might ping back in a minute. I'll put it over there. I'll tell you. I don't know. He either was a massive tosser and should be at the top of the list or not. And he's gone to his grave, you know, professing his innocence. So if anyone's got any information or facts on it, stick it in the comments and then I'll gather it all up. You could do the bloody research, because I don't like doing any research because, I mean, I can't bloody read very well. You know, in Birmingham, when I was coming up in the 1960s, we didn't really have reading. So I'm all right at it. I'm all right with the small words. But I can't be doing any bloody research. But if you lot can do it, then I'll get down to read it out. Come back and tell us what we found out. Shall we do that? Yes, all right. Right, well, we've got on the list now. Sorry about, I can't bloody see a thing here. This is rubbish. You didn't think this one out. Oh, yeah, number 7. Brilliant. Yeah. At number 7... Sorry about this. Bloody hell. At number 7, I have got Iron Maiden. All of them. Everyone, except for Paul Di'Anno. I don't mind Paul Di'Anno. He was all right, he was. And then they kicked him out, didn't they? Why? Because he couldn't sing very well. He didn't have the range, so they got that bloody posh boy, Bruce Dickinson, and he came in with his bloody sword fighting and his bloody aeroplanes flying around and his silly little fringe. They all had bloody fringes. You don't have fringes in heavy metal. Right? Have you ever seen a bloody rock? That's what I said to them. I saw them. Here they come out. We got all our bands up here. You know, we got bloody Diamond Head, proper rock bands with heavy riffs and the whole lot. Bloody brilliant. Diamond Head were. Right? You got Saxon up north. Def Leppard were good in them days. But who bloody takes the crown? New wave of bloody British heavy metal crown? It's bloody Iron Maiden. Why? Because they're from London. That's what this country's like. You have to come from London to bloody get everything. Right? Now, they're a good bunch of lads. There's nothing wrong with them, you know. They were all right. I know them all. Clive Burr was a good guy. He's a good drummer, but then they got rid of him as well. I'll tell you who it is. It's that bass player with the fast fingers. It's him. He's like the boss of the whole thing, and if he doesn't like you, he kicks you out. It's supposed to be a band. So I get bloody Bruce Dickinson, he comes in with the fringe and all that, does Number of the Beast. I mean, they're bloody good, I like them. But they're just from London, and I can't stick people from London, and they've taken the bloody crown. They took the heavy metal crown away, you know. Then they passed it on to bloody Metallica. We should have kept heavy metal in the Midlands in the 1980s. And why didn't it bloody happen? Why? Because Iron Maiden got all the plaudits, didn't they? Left old Diamond Head behind, didn't they? And a whole host of other better bands as well. It's bloody... It's just because they happen to be in the right place at the right time. That's all it is. You know? And when they first started off, they were like a punky band, weren't they? Paul Di'Anno sort of grunting and growling his way through. I didn't mind them then. But then when they went bloody got Bruce Dickinson in from Samson, do you remember them? With that drummer with the bloody head mask on, you know? Kendo Nagasaki or whoever he was on bloody drums. What was he called? Thundersticks, was that his name? Bloody hell, what was going on there? You know, they get Bruce Dickinson in and he's like there, with that bloody wobbly sound in his voice over everything. I thought, that's no bloody good, is it? Then they get the drummer in, don't they, Nico? They get rid of Clive Burr, they get Nico in. Now Nico's, I've met him, he's a nice bloke. But bloody hell, he's ugly, isn't he? You know what I mean? Looking like that. Doesn't he? He looks like someone's compressed his face, like some bloody massive elephant sat on his head. That's what he looks like, old Nico. He's a good drummer though, wasn't he? Yeah, good right foot, hadn't he? Got a good right foot, but not good working nasal passages, I think. That's him summed up anyway. I won't go too much about them. Who we got next on the list? Let's have a look. Right. Oh yeah, now this bloke. Right. Before I was born, this was. Before I was born, right, my family used to live in Birmingham. And in the war, old Hitler used to send his airplanes over. They bombed the shit out of Birmingham, right? Now, I've got to be honest, it was a dump before it started. And the next day, my mum said, when you'd get up and have a look round, you couldn't tell which bits had been bombed and which bits hadn't been bombed, you know. But they did. They used to bomb everything down there. And it's like I can remember. Well, I can't remember it because I'm sort of making this up and I'm getting my story wrong. But now, if come on, Andy. No, yeah, come on, Andy. Where are you? Help me out. Put me in here. It's like bloody hard doing this in front of the camera. You're getting all mixed up now. Anyway, let's get back on track, shall we? So, so you got... Anyway, we used to live in Aston. Well, I say we, mum and dad and Uncle Charlie. And Uncle Charlie he never bloody got married, old Uncle Charlie. I know this is a long-winded story, but he never got married. So he kept himself to himself, you know, a bit like the guys in Judas Priest. Anyway, so this one night, my nan's over, all right, and air raid siren goes off. And my dad's like, come on, we got to get in the garden, because they had like air raid shelter in the garden. So they're going out there. And my nan turns round and says, oh, bloody hell, I can't go in there. I'm going to have to go back in the house because I get me false teeth. I've having false teeth in. And my dad turns round and he says, what do you need your false teeth for? They're dropping bombs, not cheese cubs. And so my Uncle Charlie, he goes, don't worry, Dad. I'll go in and get him for you. But he's in there, and he's in there for bloody ages. The rest of the family, down there. Where's Charlie coming out? Then suddenly, boom, and the house is gone. Charlie with it, killed. After that, my mum and dad bloody hated the Germans. So I was brought up to hate Germans, and I do hate them. A lot of British people do. They won't say it, but I don't like the Germans. Now, years later, I get into heavy metal, and in the 70s, there's a really good bloody German heavy metal band called the Scorpions, and I wanted to like them. And some of the music was all right, but I've got to be honest, they just looked weird because they'd got like Rudolf Schenker. There's too much moustaches going on, just normal. They've got these moustaches. He's got his limpid hair going on, old Rudolf. Who else did it? Herman Rarebell. I mean, Herman the German? Herman Rarebell on drums. Right, he was another ugly bugger, wasn't he? Who else did they have in there? But then they got this singer, Klaus Meine. And he got a horrible voice. Bloody used to get on my nerves. And then his hair, he used to look like two bloody Brillo pads. But it's not him. None of them, I think, are tossers, right? None of them. It's the brother, Michael Schenker. Yeah, him. Bloody hell, he's a big-headed old Michael Schenker. And he's pretty good on the old guitar. And when he came out, not came out like Rob Halford, but when he came out like in the late 70s, everyone thought he was really bloody good. The next thing he got like John Sykes and Gary Moore, and he got like bloody Eddie Van Halen and all these really good guitarists. I thought he's not that bloody good, the old Schenker. But he thought he was bloody brilliant, and he comes out, right? He got his hair all bloody cut short, walking around, think he's the bee's knees, and he was always drinking too much, old Schenker was. Drinking too much boasting, and too being nasty to the Scorpions. They couldn't bloody help it and say, where's my royalties for the first album? And they go, well, you only like about 16 when you made that. He just, yeah, but I did all the good guitaring on it. Well, you may have done, mate, but good guitar solos isn't writing songs, is it? So there's all this bloody argument going on. He leaves the bloody UFO, amazing band. I think I've gobbed on the screen again, haven't I? Have I done it again? Sorry about this. I need to stop the camera now. I think I'm bloody salivating. Every time I get worked up, it's when I mentioned cheese cobs before, I was talking about me nan. Anyway, so he was coming down our local venue to see. I've never seen such a bloody state when he came out. He was all over the place. And he's still going. I'm surprised he is going. So many other guitarists have pegged it, haven't they, in that time? If you think about it, poor old John Sykes is gone. He was better than Schenker. I mean, Schenker's good not having to go at him. He's just a bit of a big head, and that's why I put him on the list. That's it, really. Now I've got to. He doesn't seem to have done enough. Well, I'll tell you what it is. He's a big head, and he's German. There's nothing wrong in disliking Germans. You can dislike who you want. It's not racist. They're not a bloody race. That's why I don't like them, because they thought they were a race. Think about it. They thought they were a race. They're not. They're Germans. They're just Germans. That's all it is. There's got to be some nice Germans out there. I'm sure I'm trying to think there's got to be some nice Germans out there. Hasn't there? Can you put in the comments who your favourite German is, the nicest one? And because I don't want to be prejudiced, I don't want to be seen to be prejudiced, because in these modern times, you don't really want to be doing that and saying you don't like Germans, do you? I mean, it's stupid. You can't like a whole race of people. There's going to be nice ones and nasty ones, And I'm sure the Scorpions are nice ones, but can we all agree Michael Schenker's a tosser. Shall we do that, shall we? Right, what's up next on the list? Oh, bloody hell. Right, so we're at number 5 halfway now. This bloke, everybody loves. They think the sun shines out of his arsehole, don't they, this bloke? And yet, he's a tosser. And I'm going to prove it right now. At number 5, I've got David Bowie. Now, where do you want to start with old Bowie? Right? Where do you want to start with him? I mean, for a start, he looks weird, doesn't he? He's got eyes, bloody 2 different colour eyes. I had a dog like that. I had a dog, yeah, and we had to have him put down. When I say I put down, I took him around my nan's and they beat him over the head with a shovel. But, yeah, he wasn't right, that dog. He wasn't right in the head. You know, I called him Lancelot, and he just wasn't right. He was always trying to hump everything, except for other dogs. That's the one thing he wouldn't try and hump. And we had to have the bloody operation on him, you know, and he had the old, the old wedding tackle, you know. He had 2 removals, if you know what I'm saying. Had them removed. Came back, he was bloody worse. Absolutely bloody worse, old Lancelot was. Wouldn't leave anybody alone. Anybody. And he was a menace, really. Lancelot was. I mean, he would go after everything. And our postman, he used to be scared coming down the road to the house in case Lancelot got out. Because if Lancelot got out, you know, he was a big dog. He was one of them Irish wolfhounds, you know. And I used to say to the wife, I said, the bloody Irish are thick as 2 short planks. That's his bloody problem. It's low IQ. And she said, A, he's a dog. B, he's not Irish. I should say, why they call him bloody Irish then? So that's the bloody make, isn't it? It's not the bloody where he comes from. I wasn't born in Ireland. He ain't like bloody Terry Wogan, is he? That's what they said. And I thought, bloody hell, what you mean? It's called Irish wolfhound, you know. She said, he's not a wolf and he's not Irish. Right, the only thing is an hound. Right, he's an hound, and he can't have like a low IQ because he's a dog. But what's most offensive, Dave, is you've just maligned the Irish, and you like the Irish. You love bloody Phil Lynott. Yeah, but Phil Lynott's from round here. He was born round here. Well, that matters, doesn't it? Where you're born? Not really. It's where you're brought up. What makes you what you are? Do you really think that, Beryl? I think it's something in the genes. You like when them bloody far right types. You'll be voting reform for Nigel Farage if you are not careful. Well, I was thinking of, you know, it's because you have to bloody put. You always maligning people. You malign the Germans. You're maligning the bloody Irish now, and you're maligning dogs and say they've got low IQ. They've not got bloody low IQ, Dave. They're just bloody dogs. Yeah, I know, but when you compare it to someone, you know, they're not that bloody clever. Anyway, this bloke was clever. I'll tell you who it was, number 5, tosser, and you're going to agree when I say it, David Bowie. That's 2 reasons why I think he's a tosser, right? First off, right, everyone goes on about Jimmy Page, who is a tosser. Because in the early 70s, he may have been, allegedly, I'm not saying he did, but he may have been going off with girls, you know, who had, you know, I don't know. I mean, allegedly, I don't think he did, old Jimmy Page, because he's still alive. I don't think he did at all. I think he kept himself to himself, you know, and just stuck to devil worshipping, which, of course, is all completely illegal, unlike underage sex, which, of course, Jimmy Page never had. And it's never been proven, and we're not going to say he ever did. In fact, I'm saying on here he never bloody did. Jimmy Page never did. What do you think? Nah, of course you agree with me. But David Bowie, he's like that as well. Now, he might have, mightn't he? There was this girl, what was her name? Laurie Maddox. Who was that? Who was that girl then, you know? Nothing's got bloody done about it. Anyone else has done anything like that, you know. They're bloody pillared. They're pillared from post to post. That's what they are. Not David Bowie. Oh, he's the bloody best. We've all got to worship him. Go and put on heroes. You know, we could be heroes. He's not even proper rock. I put him on because there's some good tracks on that Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, I suppose. Mick Ronson, he was all right. So that's the first thing. He was a bloody, well, allegedly. I'm not saying he was. I don't want to say too much about it, you know. You know. I mean, he wasn't a mate, but we used to have this bloke we knew. He used to come from Chelmsley Wood in the old days. What was his name? Pedo Pete, that was him. Yeah. I wonder how he got that bloody name. Because I think it was his mum just called him Pete. I think someone had added on the bit in front of like that. But nobody ever came up with a nickname like that for David Bowie, did they? Now they thought he was too bloody good because he wrote Life on Mars. Life on Mars. He got Rick Wakeman to do all that. Rick Wakeman's a good bloke. I like him. He did all the good stuff that Bowie did, Rick Wakeman did. All the rest of it's just bloody rubbish rock. It's rubbish, right? He's rubbish. Everyone thinks he's great. So that's the first thing. The second thing, he was basically a bloody Nazi for half the 70s. You remember the thin white Duke walking around, swastikas, doing Heil Hitler? Poor old Kanye West, I ain't a fan, but he doesn't be the old, Nazism, and everyone's got it in for him, but they won't even let him in the bloody country. David Bowie lived here. Hang on, what's this going on here? Shall we have a look, shall we? Is this KK again? No, not KK Downing. Beryl. Bloody Beryl. Oh, you put your glasses over the top of your glasses, haven't you? Oh. What shall I put those? Shall I put those down there? Oh, don't look at me eyes in real life. I'm not very good in direct sunlight. It's from growing up in Birmingham in the 70s when the clouds of pollution filled the sky and we never saw the sun for months and months. We would walk round a pasty race, but resilient, inventing heavy metal and hard bloody industry. That's what us Brummies did. Centre of the world Birmingham was back then. Yeah, it was bloody lovely. It was in the 1970s. Shall we see who we've got next on the list? We're nearly there. We're nearly done now. I'll be able to put this out. Right, who we got next? Oh, I ain't going to say much about him. At number 4, I got bloody Kid Rock. Right? Now, first of all, he ain't a kid. He looks bloody old and horrible. And like some rock stars that get that sort of, they look like they've been pickled in aspic, you know, like when you look at the Aerosmith boys, you know, they look like they used to look like, but they look like they've been mummified or something. Kid Rock doesn't look like that. He just looks like a really old bloke. He's not a kid. He's not a kid. And how dare he put rock in his name? Right? Okay? Nobody who has the name Rock in the name has got anything to do with rock. Right? Rock Hudson. What's he going to do with rock music? Nothing at all, has he? He's famous for being the, handsome bloody leading man and be the first bloke to die of AIDS, isn't he, old Rock Hudson? What about Chris Rock? He's got nothing to do with the rock, is he? Is there any other rocks you can think of that have got nothing to do with rock? But there's one bloke who thinks he has got something to do with rock because he's called Rock and it's Kid Rock, but he's got nothing to do with rock. What does he do? He raps. He raps over crappy rock. Why the hell is Kid Rock? Why is he here? And worse than that, he's a bloody Trump supporter. Now, in the early days, I didn't mind Trump. I know he got on everyone else's nerves. I didn't mind him because he was there and he was going, because I'm a bit hippie, you see. In the old days, it's like, I used to be a bit of a hippie and I used to listen to those bloody John Lennon albums and, he used to say, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try, no hell below us. Imagine all the people living life as one. Ooh, all that bit where he's always going and always saying is give peace a chance, let's lie in bed. I took it hook, line and sinker from Lennon. Right, I don't want to get onto Lennon. I'm preempting something here, but this is the whole point. You got Lennon, right? But then Trump comes in, he goes, America, we ain't bloody paying any wars anymore. We're not paying for any wars. All the other presidents, they've all been having wars everywhere. I'm Trump, I won't have a war. And then he comes up with the worst bloody war going. Why? Probably because Israel's told him to bloody have it. All right, no, I'm not happy. What's that bloody river that they send the boats up? Is that bloody Strait of Hummus? I bloody hate hummus. I hate foreign food. I like bloody fish and chips and a good balti. That's what I like. Not the bloody Straits of Hummus, bringing up all the hummus. And apparently there's like a hummus shortage now. And the whole world bloody operates on hummus, all caused by Trump. And there's Kid Rock going, I'm a bloody kid and I'm into rock and I'm a rocker and I'm supporting Trump and he's going to cause World War III. Can you see why he's so bloody on the list? Bloody Kid Rock. Kid Rock. More like Kid Twat, that's what I'd call him. Right, so let's... The lefties like this one. They were a bit worried later on when I was saying I didn't like the Irish and the Germans, but I think I pulled it back with that bit there. Right, number 3. That's his bloody easy pickings. I didn't want to put him on. It seemed too bloody obvious, but when I was doing my research for this, which basically I involved asking ChatGTP who the most annoying rock stars are, this bloke kept coming up, you know, along with bloody Morrissey and a few others. I thought, I ain't going to talk about Morrissey. I ain't even going to give him the bloody oxygen of publicity. Not Morrissey now. But this bloke keeps coming up over and over again. Axl Rose. Now, why don't they like Axl Rose? Because he seems like a bit of a big head and basically he turns up late, right? But after that, there's not that much about him that's that bad, really, when you consider what else has he done? He seems a polite chap. He was all right when he joined AC/DC, but he did try and take over, you know, the vocals in AC/DC. But he actually did a bloody good job, and it's a hard thing to do, so you've got to give him credit for that. If I keep talking, I don't actually mind Axl Rose. I don't mind him at all. Now, in the old days, he used to come out and he'd be all dressed up in his LA rock gear, which is always a bit like pansy, a bit namby-pamby for me. I think he said the word pansy there. I don't think you say. I think that's one of the words Andy said you can't say. And a bit namby-pamby for me, the old LA rockers with all their bloody bright pinks. And he used to have them cycling shorts on, didn't he? That they were really tight, weren't they? Trying to show his package off. You know, but nowhere near like Robert Plant for being able to show his package off. And he'd have the bloody old headband on, you know, all that look, that thing going on, you know. He'd come back, but he was a handsome chap. Really good singer, although his voice grated. But that's what he was. I've summed him up. There he was. Comes out, they bring out Appetite for Destruction. Quite a good album, considering some air metal nonsense. You know, one of the better albums to come out. I mean, if you put it up against Strangers in the Night by bloody UFO or something like that, it pales into insignificance, doesn't it, really? But anyway, so he comes out, they do that album, and then he all goes to their head, you know, and they get rid of the drummer, they get someone else in, and then they get rid of this bloke, then Slash does one, and then they do, straight off, we didn't even get 2 or 3 albums out before they went all rock and roll and couldn't bloody work together. And they spend all this money, and the next thing, we wait and wait, and this bloody album comes out. It comes out in 2 parts, it's so great and big, and they got some bloody horrible rock ballad, there's Slash playing his guitar, then Kent Helicopter flopping down, you got all the grass flapping around him, you know. We all supposed to think this is the best thing since Sliced Bread. I thought, well, I ain't into it that much. And that was it. But he's gone down in history. They've gone down as being one of the great rock bands. They're not. Winger were better than them. Back in the old days, Rats were better than them. Wasp were better than them. Right? Not bloody Guns N' Roses. I saw them in 1988. I was at the Donington Rock Festival 1988. And they come out and it's like everyone was pushing and pulling. And a couple of people got trampled to bloody death because of Guns N' Roses. Well, I think they put themselves out of their own misery. You know what I'm saying? It was like they couldn't take it. They said, I can't take this anymore. So they just bloody let go. You know, like at the end of bloody Titanic, you know, and he just lets go and falls into the void. Oh, bloody hell, that was a gig, that was. Down the front, watching Guns N' Roses, stepping all over people, while the rest of the 120,000 there were urinating into empty bloody bottles of white cider and then chucking it at the stage. Bloody hell. It was a great laugh, that was. Right, anyway, now he's grown up. And the thing is, now, anyone who's watched my early videos, you know I bloody hate Mick Hucknall. I hate him. Right, I hate Mick Hucknall, and I did have I did end up kidnapping Mick Hucknall for a couple of days and getting to shine my shoes. Does anyone remember that video? So I walked over and said, "Oi, Mick." He said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want you to shine my shoes." He goes, "What you bloody talking about?" I said, "I want you to shine my shoes. You've never done a decent day's work in your bloody life. Look at your little funny little hands." And you felt his hand and grabbed his hand like that. I was holding his hand. He didn't like it. I said, they're like soft lady hands. Mick Hucknall's got these soft lady hands. I said, you've never done a proper day's work. You never worked on a building site, have you, Mick? Have you? Admit it. He's starting to get all shifty. He didn't like it. You know, he was getting angry. Right, and he squared up to me like this, Mick did. And I said, just watch it, mate. And I just lightly touched him on his chest. And with the weight of all the ginger hair, it knocked him off balance and he fell back like this. And he got back up and he comes back. I said, you know what you're doing now, mate, don't you? He said, what? I said, you're holding back the tears now, aren't you, mate? He got really upset and he said, right, I'm not having it, you Brummie fool. And we go outside and we had this fight. I mean, it took me about 3 minutes. Right, and eventually I got his hand up behind the back, that sort of thing like that, and I got him there. And I said, right, Hucknall, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to stop me from breaking your little bloody arm, lady arm? And he said, I'll do anything you want, Dave. And so I said, you're going to have to shine my shoes. That's what you're going to have to do, Mick. And I said, I'm not doing that. And I said, I'm going to make you do it. And worse than that, you're going to make you do it on camera. He's here now, shining my shoes, Mick. You're down there.
What's going on?
You're shining my shoes. How shiny are they? I don't think they're shiny enough. Come on, Beard, see the audience. What, you don't want to? Just stick your head up a little bit. That's it. There he is, shining away. You didn't bloody believe me, did you? There he... Yeah, that was the one. Bloody hell. Mick Hucknall, that showed him. That showed him, yeah. Something got me started. I tell you, something got him finished as well. And he's in time with me. Poor bloke, Poor bloke. He ain't going to be eating a chocolate eclair for a long time. That's all I'm saying. All bloody 12-inch Subway. But what's this got to do with Axl Rose? I hear you ask. And you're right to ask, really, because I've got to give you an answer. I'll tell you why. Because Axl Rose is starting to look like him. I thought he was blonde, now he's gone ginger, and he comes out with his big face, looking all ugly, right? He's starting to get in that same bracket of bloody Mick Hucknall and Van Morrison. They just look like little fat ginger pigs, and I don't like it. And I think for that reason alone, either he's got fast millions, can't he get some plastic surgery? If he's had plastic surgery to look like that, then what the hell's going on? He looks awful. He looks like a sort of pudgy Ronald McDonald that's been covered in bloody cling film and wrapped up for many decades, only to come back and not be able to hit the high notes anymore. Right, what we got there? Which one we up to? Right, here we go. Number 2. Right, I got 2 tossers at number 1 and 2, and these are the highest ones ranking. Now, this bloke, he's not a bad bloke himself. He's not criminal. He's not done anything wrong to anybody. Right, and Andy quite likes him, but the reason why Andy likes him is for the reasons I don't like him. So I thought I needed to provide the other side of the coin. Because at number 2, I've got Ritchie Blackmore. Yes, the man in black. Yeah, no, not Johnny Cash. No, not him. No, Ritchie Blackmore. Right, Ritchie Blackmore. Yeah, very important guitarist. Came out with Deep Purple in the early days. Before that, he played with all sorts of different people, hadn't he? Been with that, who was that fella? And he played with them as well, yeah. I think he used to play a bit with Chaz and Dave as well, yeah. Anyway, forms Deep Purple, didn't he? And a lot of that stuff on there, every bloody riff that Blackmore did was ripped off from somewhere else. He'd rip usually Jimi Hendrix. He wanted to be like Jimi Hendrix, didn't he, old Blackmore? But he wasn't, because he was just this British bloke with no chin. He was like a chinless wonder, wasn't he? There he'd stand all moody, all dressed in black, all doing these, things and running around, smashing his guitar up and setting his amps on fire and doing all this bloody showy stuff. But he was all did it in an amby-pamby way, didn't he? All flouncy. He was a bit too flouncy. So that's where it starts. And he gets into Deep Purple, right? And Deep Purple are doing really well, right? And then he decides to fall out with Ian Gillan, right? Now, can you imagine if Robert Plant had left Led Zeppelin in 1973, like Gillan left Deep Purple, right? That's bloody bad. That's caused by Ritchie Blackmore, right? So Gillan goes, can't take it. So he carries on. So he decides to get a singer in. He gets David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes in, and doesn't like them, does he? Because they want to get all funky. He doesn't want to go all funky, does he? So what does he do? He goes off on his own, even though he's in Deep Purple. It's like extramarital sex, but in rock form. And he finds that little midgety fella, doesn't he? Oh, can you say that? I'm sorry. The little short one. The one who replaced Ozzy in Black Sabbath. What's his name? What was his name? He had a band named after him, that band Dio. What's his name? Anyway, they got him in. He was in a band called Elf, right? And Blackmore's like, oh, I love Elf. I'll tell you what. Why don't you sack Elf and come and join my band, and they do Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Then, after that, can you imagine? You go, well, we've sacked off Elf. We now play for Ritchie Blackmore. The next thing is, I'm going to make a few changes. What's you going to do, Ritchie? Sack everyone except Ronnie James Dio. It's like you've almost bloody planned it, Ritchie. So they've all gone. And then they get another band in, don't they? They get bloody Cozy Powell in, Jimmy Bain in, that bloke, the one, Tony Carey in. Bloody amazing band. I made an album, one of the greatest rock albums of all time, I have to say. Rainbow Rising was bloody brilliant. And I thought, all's forgiven, Ritchie, all's forgiven. Fair enough. But then what do you do with that band? Start sacking this person, sacking that person. Then he gets sack happy. He's like bloody, what's his name? Joe Pesci in bloody Goodfellas, So there's anything going on? I sacks them. He sacks them. Right, sacks everybody. Right, gets Graham Bonnet in, bloody great singer, has all the bunch of hit records. So what does he do? Sack him. Gets bloody Jolene Turner in. Sacks him. Right, then he decides to turn on rock just because he's met some blonde bird. That Candice Blackmore, whatever her name is. What's her name? What's the blonde one called? And now he's going off doing all this bloody frilly elf music, this bloody, hey nonny ho, and running around the forest, singing bloody to sprites. Not like the Lemonade, you know what I'm saying. So Blackmore, and he's all, and then everybody you ever talked to known him said he likes his practical jokes. Well, there's one thing, so you play practical jokes on people, fair enough, but when you're sacking everybody, if you keep playing practical jokes, when you're going to sack someone, you go, oh, another thing, I thought that was quite funny when I put an armadillo in your bed last night. Did you laugh at that? Yeah, very funny, wasn't it? Here's another one, you sack, mate. Oh, Ritchie, you're so funny. No, this isn't a joke. No, you're having me on. No, it's not a joke, you're gone. Sling your hook. I've got someone bigger and better in, and I'm going to sack them soon. Ritchie Blackmore. Bloody tosser. Right. Here we go, number one. Right, this ain't quite like he gig part of heavy rock, but I've got something to say here, and I think it needs to be said. I think the biggest tosser in rock, excluding murderers and criminals and all those types, but just a normal bloke, the biggest tosser is someone that nobody wants to say is a tosser, but he was a tosser, and I think it's about time we say he's a tosser, right? The biggest tosser in rock was bloody John Lennon. Yeah. Bully at school he was. He was a bully. Right? Then he goes out with bloody Cynthia. Used to bloody give her a good old... I've not been married to Beryl for years. We've had our altercations on certain points. I've never lamped her. There he was lamping Cynthia. Then he has the son, doesn't he, Julian? And he's lamping him as well, but he can't be bothered, so he just sods them off, doesn't he? Goes off with the bloody Japanese banshee, Yoko Ono. She comes in, and there he is, staring into the eyes of Yoko, making his terribly music concrete or whatever he's doing. And Cynthia's coming in, who's this? Oh, this is bloody Yoko Ono. I love her now. You're going to go, sling your hook. So he slings the hook, and then he brings Yoko in, and bloody finishes off the Beatles. There's no two ways about it. Moaning about everything, thinking he's the bee's knees, and all the way through this, like every bloody virtue signaling type you've ever known. Oh, give peace a chance, don't go hitting your wife, don't do these nasty things. He's taking drugs, he's beating people up, he's going behind people's backs. He's just a nasty piece of work, old Lennon is. And he's lying in bed going, oh, I want to save the world. Imagine there's no heaven, it's easy to try no hell below us. Imagine all the people living life as one. But they ain't living life as one when you're around, are they, Lennon? Because you're bloody not, you're living life as one. Is there only one? It's you, you big self-centered bloody tosser. That's what Lennon is to me, right? Then, when he dies, he just puts bloody Yoko and Sean in the will. Poor old Julian, right? He gets nothing. He gets nothing. I think he's a tosser. And he's always so bloody arrogant, and he was always there boasting, not getting any bloody work done, thinking he's the bee's knees. I just don't like him, right? And the proof of the pudding is that once the Beatles over, what was the best song he did? Imagine. It's bloody rubbish. It was rubbish. Paul McCartney was way better. He bloody Live and Let Die and Coming Up Like a Flower. They were decent songs. I could have done with a bit heavier riffs in it, but what did Lennon do? Nothing. Bloody ripped off Frank Zappa, didn't he? Took one of Frank Zappa's songs and said he'd bloody written it. There's another reason to say he's a tosser. We can go on and on and on, and just because he got shot, nobody wants to say anything, do they? They don't want to say anything about him. All the stuff he got up to, they don't want to say, do he? Bloody big, druggy, bloody philandering, violent, wife-beating fool. That's who Lennon is. Oh, it's a good job I don't exist and I'm just a figment of Andy's imagination, because I don't half say something. Because I say it like it is. I say it like it is. He was a right prat. He was a right prat, that bloke was. Bloody Lennon. The rest of them were all right. George Harrison was okay. Ringo, I don't know about him, you know. Paul McCartney, nobody likes Paul McCartney, do they? But he's all right, that one. He is. There you go. Yeah. Although I didn't like it when he met Ozzy. Did you see when he met Ozzy Osbourne? Ozzy was so loving and was like, he can't come in, I love you, Paul. And he was going, oh yeah, you're a burglar, aren't you? And bringing up his bloody burgling, you know. And we're going over old ground, aren't we? I think I've got the end of this one. Did you enjoy it? Was it good having me back? I say it like it is, don't I? Right? You know, I say it like it is, basically. Now, I might say it like it is. Doesn't mean that anything I've said in this video is worth listening to as factual information. This was all here for entertainment purposes. I do feel like I might have got too near the knuckle. Don't want to get Andy sued, but I'm sure he'll come on and say he's got nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. That was Brummie Dave. Take him to court. Take him to court. So if you can bloody find me, you know what I'm saying?